Okay, so this is how you're going to start out with graphing lines in standard form. And first, I'm going to focus on graph 2, and then we're going to go to graph 1, and you can look at that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to find my x-intercept. And I get an x-intercept when my y equals 0. So to get my x-intercept over here, I'm going to plug in. Oop, I don't think I gave myself enough room for that. I'm going to plug in, actually let me zoom in. Oop, didn't mean to twist it. There we go. So, that's, okay, can't get it straight, whatever. Oh, it's straight-ish. Okay, great. So I'm going to plug in 0 for y to get my x-intercept, because whenever I'm on an x-intercept, it doesn't matter, my y is still 0 when I'm on an x-intercept. So 10x minus 3, and I'm going to plug in 0 for y, because I'm on my x-axis, equals negative 15. And so 3 times 0, negative 3 times 0 is just 0. So 10x minus 0 equals negative 15. And, well, if I add the 0 over to move it over, well, that's just 10x equals negative 15. And to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 10. And I get x equals negative 1.5. So I'm going to go on ahead, and I'm going to make a dot at x equals negative 1.5, which is about there-ish. Which, in case you can't see because that was a smaller dot than I was expecting, it's about right there. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my y-intercept. Well, no matter what my y-intercept is, anywhere along the y-axis is my y-intercept, doesn't quite matter because I'm on my y-intercept, my x is 0. So just like last time, where I plugged in 0 for y to get my x-intercept, this time I'm going to plug in 0 for x to get my y-intercept. So I'm going to move over just a little bit more. And so I'm going to say 10, oops, undo, go back here, get that guy. 10 times 0 minus 3y equals negative 15. 10 times 0 is 0. Minus 3y equals negative 15. I'm going to subtract 0 over. Negative 3y equals negative 15. Then we're going to divide by negative 3. Y equals positive 5. And so I'm going to make a dot at y equals positive 5, which in case you couldn't see is right there. And now I'm just going to create a line that connects both those points. Now I'm doing this. Oh, let me undo that. For some reason, I'm going to have to do this by hand, but it's going to be a little bit awkward. Oops, redo. And so, if I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so it's not so awkward. Okay, pretend that was a straight line. And that would be the line for that graph. So what I did was to find my x-intercept, I set y equal to 0, and I got about negative 1.5. To get my y-intercept, I set x equal to 0, and I got positive 5, and then I just connected that line together. I made sure my line went beyond my two intercepts, and I put some arrows on it. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to move over here, and we're going to work on this guy. And I'm going to try to give us as much room as possible. Again, to find my x-intercept, oops, let's undo that. To find my x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0. So 4x plus 0 equals 0. If I subtract 0 over, I get 4x equals 0. And if I divide both sides by 4, well, x equals 0 divided by 4. Well, that's just 0. There we go. That's a pen color I like. So I'm going to go to x equals 0. Well, we kind of have an issue here, because do you see how my x-intercept, which is along my x-axis, is also along my y-axis? So I just plotted my x and my y-intercept because it's on both axes. Whenever my equation equals 0, that means my intercept is going to be the origin. And now I've got something to work with. Well, I've got something to deal with because I can't make a line just from one dot. I don't know if it slants this way, if it slants that way. I just don't know, because all I know is that it goes through that dot. So what I do is I just figure out an x value that I'm going to plug into x and figure out a y. So let's go ahead and do that over here. I'm going to do it up here because I'm running out of space. I'm going to plug 1 in for x, because 1's a really simple number because it's multiplies by its, So anyway, I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and I get 4 plus y equals 0. I'm going to erase this step because I need the space. Does this not erase anymore? No. Okay. Well, whatever. So if I subtract 4, sorry I have to write over this, I don't really quite know how to get that to go away. Y equals -4, I'm so sorry. And so when I put 1 in for x, I got -4 for y, which lets me know I have a point at 1, comma, -4. Now I have 2 points. I can make a line. We're going to pretend that that's a straight line. You'll be able to have a, you can use a straight edge to help you out with that. So that's what we do if we can get one intercept, but we don't have anything else to do with that. So I think this can get you through most of the homework. There might be 2 or 3 that you might need some extra help with. That this procedure won't be the end-all be-all, and we can go over that either before school or during lunch. Just come to tutorials. Okay.